Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of Flex Friday Major Money. And as always, I'm Major, and I have with me Ross. And so, Ross, today's a very exciting day for you. I'll just have to ask you: Are you nervous being a Yankees fan and the World Series is starting today?
I mean, yeah. I feel like I wouldn't be a fan if I wasn't nervous. I mean, I have all the confidence in the world, but you're going up against the team that has a 1 through 9. Every single one of them can take you out the park. Every single one of them
Yep.
can hit the ball. And then you go to their bullpen. Their starters haven't been super, effective this
Mm-hmm.
playoff run, but their bullpen, bring guys in and they can go 2, 3 innings and they can make it last. And they're all refreshed. They've had plenty of time. They've reset the bullpen. Flaherty's pitching tonight, but tonight I'm going Yankees. They're going to steal game one. They're going to do it, and it's going to be a great game. I'm taking Yankees game one. I have to. I can't go against it.
You're not a fan if you don't pick your team in every single playoff game, right? Like regular season, I could see, like sometimes being like, yeah, we have this pitcher out here. It's just not in the cards. Playoffs, you got to ride with your team every
Yeah.
time. But nothing better than watching your team play for a championship. It's the best feeling in sports, that nervous excitement.
Yep.
But hopefully we both have one MLB pick today, and we'll get a couple others on Major Money and tweet it out throughout the World Series, as well as everyone else on Five Reasons Gambling side. So we love y'all's interactions, and whenever y'all follow us, Ross will be giving you all the Homer Yankees picks, and he typically does pretty good on his Yankees picks. Now, speaking of the thing we always do here is we talk about our family plays. And last time we unfortunately did not hit our family play. Boy, oh boy, did we get screwed by Gavin Williams. That man just did not like us. um, he, I had his under strikeouts. He struck out the side in the second inning and then got pulled. You had his over hits for our demon, and he was at 3,
Mm-hmm.
and his demon was 3.5, and he got pulled. So we got like literally sandwiched in between. We both got
Mm-hmm.
hit by a half. We both got hooked there. And Luis Gill did go under on his strikeouts as well. So we were there. But we just got very unfortunate that we both said he would be bad. We did not expect him to be that bad, to be pulled in the second inning while also getting all of his outs and strikeouts. It was like the perfect combination of letting up a bunch of hits, but since guys knew he wasn't pitching good, they were swinging at everything. So it was just like the perfect game plan for us not to hit our family play. So we are looking to bounce back today. And Ross, without further ado, what should we be playing for our family play?
Yeah. So I was ice cold last week. I went 0 for 3 in all my picks, but basketball's back. I'm more comfortable betting on basketball, and I'm gonna go with a guy that I feel like is gonna be a fade god this entire year, and that's Ben Simmons. Okay, I don't care how many Instagram, Twitter videos I see. I'm gonna fade him. He had 21 for a fantasy score. It's at 23.5. I'm going with the under. Now I got a little couple of things. He starts, okay. That's really not a great thing, but he's not on a team that has a lot of guys that can compete. Okay. He just doesn't move the needle for me. He cannot shoot. It's not like he's gonna go and spark a couple threes and get a bunch of points there early. Out of all the starters last game against the Hawks, he had the least amount of minutes. I believe he had 24 minutes. He had like 6 turnovers, 5 fouls. He's really got to rely on the assists and the rebounds because, as we know, he's not super comfortable to shoot the basketball. And I know, last game's a little bit different. He's getting a little more confident this year. I don't want to have the same stigma of him not shooting the basketball, but he only had, I believe, 6 or 8 points, and that's not going to move the needle to get over. It was at 25 earlier. It's already down to 23.5. I would go with the under. He does not move the needle for me. Ben Simmons, disaster class. I think that they do not do anything against Orlando. And we saw Orlando play, obviously, the other night, and I think their defense is a lot better than probably people are going to expect them to be this year. I don't see Ben Simmons playing a lot of minutes. Under on Ben Simmons' fantasy score.
to your point, Orlando is an elite defensive team, and the the Nets have a lot of good role players. I'll put it that way. So they do have like Cam who can put up some points. I guess two Cams that can put up some points, but they don't have like that guy to really carry them, so they're not going to be a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-injuries, Ben Simmons is one of my favorite players, though. I love Ben Simmons. I still have that love for him in my heart, but the guy has been hurt a lot. He's not going to get the minutes, like you said, because even if he is healthy, they're going to ramp him up. I do think his plays are kind of under right now on his fantasy score. Now, like if you're looking to play overs, because for some reason everyone likes playing overs, like his like rebounds or assists would be what you would go for. But his fantasy score also takes into account, like you were saying, his turnovers. And so when you're not playing frequently, you can kind of get turnover prone because you're trying to refigure out what passes you can make and what you can't. And he's a guy that's passing consistently. So I do like that play as well, facing what I believe is going to be a top 5 defense in the NBA. But I'm going to head it over to baseball right now for my family play. And I typically don't play these because, I think there's not too much you can say about them. Like it's just, you can do all the predicting and all the math in the world, but you don't really know, right? I think this World Series, everyone's talking about the offenses. Offense. Game 1, though, I'm going to go there's not a run in the first inning, which, statistically, there's not a lot of runs in most innings. There's not a run in most innings, and we'll see here. I think Garrett Cole, as we talked about, he is still one of the best pitchers in the MLB. I'm nervous about Jack, though. Jack Flaherty.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, was he terrible last time he came out. And he has not been hot for most of the playoffs, to be honest. He's kind of been hit or miss here. And especially his last outing just being an absolute disaster class. This is a risky play, especially going up against the Yankees lineup here. But I'm going to play the statistics. I wanted to play a fun little sweat for game 1 of the World Series, and it's over quickly. I don't have to sweat the whole 9 innings. I'm going to go with under. I think the pitchers will come out, get through the first inning. I think batters will, swing early and often. I think they'll be wanting to make a spark, and that'll kind of get them out. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Like I said, I don't think there's too much data I can read into game 1 of World Series. Against probably the 2 best teams in baseball, most people would say. So I am very excited for this World Series, but I'm going to go under on the first inning, and hopefully no one hits a home run for me. But Ross, without further ado, what are your other picks for today?
Yeah, I jump on your pick. I love your pick. I think everybody is talking about, like you said, the offense. Soto, Judge, Stanton. On the other side, Ohtani, Mookie, Freddie Freeman. He is injured. I did hear his swing's looking a little iffy. But Tommy Edman, like all these guys, everybody's talking about everybody on these teams. Nobody's talking about the pitching. It's the game 1 of the World Series. A lot of these players haven't been to the World Series ever. The nerves will be there to start off, and I'll bounce off of it. Your pick. I'm going to go stay in MLB. Another homer pick, and it's the guy that I have the most confidence in pitching for the Yankees. It's Garrett Cole. 5 strikeouts. I was looking at a lot of the stats over the Dodgers because I really wanted to, and I did this not for the picks. I just did this for my own sanity because I felt like the Yankees used to do this a lot, and that was strike out. Garrett Cole has had 2 World Series games when he was played for the Astros. Both of those games, he had 6 strikeouts and he had 9 strikeouts in the World Series. He can step up in big moments. He has had, that one game in Fenway, the wild card game, where he did not perform. Okay, I understand that, but it's a critical game tonight. He's been super locked in these playoffs. He really hasn't had a lot of moments, and Boone's really left him out there, really however long he's wanted. I think the last time he was out there, I remember texting my dad and saying, Boone left him in there an inning or a couple batters too much. but that's your ace. That's the guy you rely on. I think 5 strikeouts is really good. And looking at the Dodgers series they just had, 3 of the games they had 11 strikeouts total as a team in each of those games. 3 games, 11 strikeouts. The other games, I believe, it was like 8, 6, and maybe 4, I believe. But when they're going and striking out with all the nerves, with all the data, with everything going on to start the World Series, I love this play. Now, to go off of, you said Flaherty, I think he's going to get rocked tonight. Again, my homer, obviously, agenda on that, but I think the Yankees are going to come out strong. I think Cole's going to be able to shut down this lineup, especially game 1. Game 2, game 3, that'll be different for my picks. But I love Garrett Cole's over, and it's a flat, even number, so I think he can get to 5. If he pushes at 5, it's a cool thing, but I think he definitely could get 6, 7, or 8, staying in there strong. Boone will leave him in there, and hopefully Yankees will take game 1.
Yeah, and a lot of people are last 5 bettors on Prize Picks, and they're going to look at this and be like, what are you doing? It hasn't hit 3 of the last 5, pushed 1 other. But I've preached this over and over and over on the show on Fridays for Family Place, on everything. KC and Cleveland, they don't strike out. Mm-hmm. So getting 4 against them is pretty respectable consistently, especially in this playoffs. Broken record again. Not as many strikeouts from the better teams. So that is actually pretty respectable strikeout numbers. And like you're saying, if you think Flaherty is going to get rocked, Garrett Cole's going to get even more leeway here. So because they can afford some runs or some hits in some dicey situations. So that does pair into that line of thinking. I do like that pick as well. Now, I'm going to head over to basketball. And this is another one of my players that I think is very underrated for us in the NBA and NBA fans. It's because he plays for the Detroit Pistons here, and people just don't respect the Pistons, to be honest. So no one watches them. No one realizes how good he is, and that's Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is, in my opinion, an all-star level player. And my dad is a Pistons fan, grew up with the Bad Boy Pistons, so he is going to be very excited with the season Cade Cunningham is going to have. You can see it's hit 4 of the last 5. Does that really matter on a brand new season? No. But you can see he hit 28 points. He scored 18 points in the third quarter in game 1 of the season. That's pretty good, right? He does that again. He just needs 5 more points. He is going against Cleveland. Cleveland historically has been a pretty good defensive team, but almost somewhat to what we were saying to the Nets of they don't have many of like the guy type person. Cade Cunningham is the guy, and there's no question about that on the Pistons. And so he gets a lot of opportunities. The ball is always in his hands. So another one that I was thinking about was his points, rebounds, assist. But overall, I think I like his points better today. That's his points, rebounds, assist. I'm going over on 23 points. Someone's got to do the scoring, and I think he is by far their best player. They have a couple other very good players and good, solid young players. Don't get me wrong there, but I think Cade Cunningham is truly elite and a lot better than people realize, and he has been putting up very good numbers when he has been healthy recently. He was absolutely dominant last year when he was on the court. I think that's going to continue, if not elevate this year. So I'm going Cade Cunningham over 23 points. Mm-hmm. Now, Ross, what is your final pick for today?
All right, my final pick is a guy that does not start for his team, but these plays I love a lot because I feel like it's very hit or miss. Okay. We're going with 3-pointers made, and I'm going with Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz. Now, another team, like you're saying, the Pistons, the Jazz are kind of in that weird bottom tier of the West. They're not super top heavy. I mean, they have Markkanen and all that type of stuff, but when they go to the bench, they don't really have that scorer. They got Cody Williams, John Collins, Patty Mills, Bryce Sensabaugh. None of those guys scream, I need to shoot the ball 10, 15 times in a game. Last game, Jordan Clarkson comes out. He has a very effective night. He's got 17 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. So he was moving the basketball. The ball was almost always in his hands throughout that game. He shot the ball 16 times. He was 2 for 5 from three. Very effective. I think he's going to get a lot more play. And against the Warriors, who they shoot a lot of threes themselves, I think that they're going to get out to a big lead. Utah's going to have to start putting up a lot of threes. I think his threes attempted will go up, and I think that he's a very effective shooter. Jordan Clarkson, probably his entire career, has been known to be a scorer or a three-point threat. And I think he's going to continue to do that, especially having a great game against the Grizzlies the night before, a couple nights before. I think he's going to continue to show out, and I think he's going to go over this mark. And just keep an eye out on my picks, because these three-pointers made will definitely be up there. I think Aaron Nesmith has 1.5. I like his over on that. I love a lot of these like bench guys to come in on those teams where they need a spark. They come in and that's their strong suit. They're three-point shooters, and they need to do that. That's why 1.5, I like it. You got to make 2 threes. If you shoot 5, you only have to shoot 40%. You can miss 3 of the 5 attempts and still hit this. So I love the over Jordan Clarkson here. 1.5 threes made. I like the pick.
Yeah, and Jordan Clarkson is like, I don't want to say like the modern day Lou Williams, because like Lou Williams is not old, but like he's the next guy, right? So like Lou Williams retired, and now you got Jordan Clarkson. He's that guy. Like, he might not be a starter, but he's as good as your starter in a lot of instances, especially in scoring the ball. And when he is out there, that boy is shooting. And that is all that he is doing, is trying to get some points and trying to create points. He's out there for offense. He knows his role, and it's always good if your pick knows their role and is not trying to do other things as well. So I do like that pick as well. For my final pick, I never do demons or goblins. I'm not going to say never, but I try to stay away from them for the sake of it. But I can't believe this is a goblin, or I can't believe this is a demon here. It's Tyus Jones, and let's see if I can find it. Over 7.5% assist. And that sounds like a lot for a lot of people, but you can see it's hit 4 of the last 5. Does that mean much in the second game of the season? No, but it hit the first game. And I played it. I didn't. It wasn't a demon. It was like 5 assists or something crazy like that. And I like smacked it. I was like, yeah, that's the easiest bet of my life, because all his role is to like set up these amazing scores around them. I mean, he's on a team with Bradley Beal. He is on a team with Kevin Durant. He's on a team with Devin Booker. And people might not realize that. I know some Heat fans, they really wanted him and he signed for the minimum. But like, he's one of the best assist guys in the NBA. And he could, in my opinion, average around 8 with all these people around him. Now you're like, oh, those are 3 players that have the ball in their hands too. They pass the ball and everyone shares. Then you also have Grayson Allen, who is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, and he knows how to leverage his three-point shooting into getting other shots as well, like pump fakes, for example, or driving in, which also helps guys get assists because they're taking the easy shots off their passes. I think Tyus Jones is going to be like an assist king this year, in a sense, at least in his props. I mean, I wanted to play a standard one, but Prize Picks, I think, is caught on really early, because I could only find a goblin or a demon play. And if his demon's at 7.5 and something that he's hit consistently, and I think like that's where I kind of have him around for every game this season. Also against the Lakers, who, you know, what Lakers are going to show up? You never know. They're missing some of their defenders still, yet again. Everyone gets another year older. I think the Lakers will be a good team, but maybe not that like lockdown Orlando Magic team, kind of what we were talking about with Ben Simmons. I think there will be plenty of opportunities for points and assists for Tyus Jones to rack up with the Phoenix Suns. I love this demon play. So that's our 6 picks today. 3 from me, 3 from Ross. Now, to get the most value out of these, remember, new member offer. Play $5, get $50 instantly if you use the code 5. We will both use a link and tweet this out so that you do not even have to type anything in. It is just great value there to add this on top of all the other promotions. For example, Flex Friday. If you live in a state that lets you do flex plays and not just arena, then you get win or your money back in the difference that you lost. So you can add on this and you can use that $5 on that play and get even better value. So you already get $50 instantly. Then if you lose, you get that $5 back. But if you win, depending on how many you do, if you do all 6 of our picks, you will get a very handsome payout. And for the start of basketball season, they don't show it right here. Let's see if it's on promotions. It is not. But they are doing basically a discount or special thing for each and every day here for the first 7 days of the NBA. So, for example, today is a protected play from the NBA. So if you get NBA squares, you use just NBA squares, you get a protected play. I want to say it was $20. I don't know if it's different for everyone, but I assume these are all the same. So $20 protected play. Once again, as long as you play $5, you get $50 instantly. Then protected play, you get that money back. So it's basically a even better Flex Friday for the NBA starting, and we still have several days of this left. So a ton of great value. It is a perfect time to join Prize Picks with the code 5, play $5 to $50 instantly, and use that with all of the other promos. So we will be back next Friday at least. The next major money will be for Sunday Night Football, and we'll, as always, have our Taco Tuesday major money. So let's enjoy Game 1 of the World Series. Hopefully Ross is not too happy as a New York Yankees hater myself, but at least as long as if our picks hit, I will be a happy guy. So let's enjoy this awesome sports night, and let's steal some money from Prize Picks.